Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining our webinar today. Guesty is really excited about collaborating with Wishbox, one of our incredible marketplace partners. And today we're here to talk about boosting bookings and revenue with the help of automation tools. Let's get started. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. To introduce myself, my name is Shelby, and I'm a sales team leader here at Guesty. And joining me today is the amazing Sapphire Stein, marketing manager from Wishbox.
Hey, Shelby.
Okay, so before we dive in, here's a quick overview of what we'll be covering here today. Again, today we're going to be discussing how to increase bookings and revenue by utilizing automation tools that can help to take work off of your plate and run a more efficient and scalable business, all while offering a 5-star guest experience. So we'll start with a general overview of Guesty and Wishbox and our service offerings. We'll move into 3 different stages to implement automation, being pre-arrival, during the stay, and checkout. And then we'll continue with how to use your PMS to automate in more than just communication, and then we will wrap up and take all of your questions. So a little information on Guesty. As you know, property managers at any given moment have a lot to balance, and Guesty is increasingly aware of all of these pain points. Between communicating with incoming or prospective guests, managing homeowners, your own internal staff and teams, growing and maintaining your property inventory, and distributing rentals across multiple booking platforms, branding, marketing, and the list goes on and on, it's safe to say that property managers have a lot on their plates. Now, we realize that while trying to balance operations and all of the extra special touches unique to your brand, you somehow have to leave room to think about how you're going to grow the business. Of course, that's one of the most important parts. Okay. So that's where Guesty comes in. We're an end-to-end property management software for the short-term rental business. Our platform simplifies the most repetitive and time-consuming aspects of running a vacation rental business so that you're not only able to run a more efficient operation, but so that you have the time you need to focus on your growth. So how exactly does our platform help you to manage a better rental business? It's with our features, all of which have been specifically designed to solve all of those pressing needs that property managers are stuck spending way too much of their time on. And that includes everything from all of the communication with guests, having that now centralized in one inbox, management of all of your availability and rates in one centralized calendar, mobile access to all of the above, communication and management of availability and rates in one mobile app. All sorts of operational tools to help you save time, improve your efficiency, and most of all, the highest level of customizable automation that's available in the industry today. And then just a bit about where Guesty is today as a company. I know it might sound surprising, but we've been around for only 6 years. And despite that, we're over 300 employees strong. We have 11 offices worldwide and growing, customers across 70 different countries, and we've raised over $60 million in funding. So I think it's safe to say that we're just getting started. And guess what? We're not the only ones growing. Our customers have shown tremendous growth in their portfolio size and in their revenue, and a decrease in the one place that you would want to see a decrease, and that's the number of time that you're spending in the day managing all of the repetitive aspects of the business. So as we've already established, because property managers have so many pain points and responsibilities to keep up with today, we've brought our partners at Wishbox here to talk about automating your business to solve a lot of these time-consuming demands that are stunting your business's growth. So with that said, here's Sapphire from Wishbox, who's going to tell you a little bit more about them before we jump into today's topic.
Thank you, Shelby.
Of course.
So for those who are unfamiliar, Wishbox is a personalized guest experience platform that allows hosts to engage with guests, automate repetitive tasks, generate more revenue from every guest, offer a guest experience that translates to a 5-star review. Wishbox syncs to Guesty and has all your rental and reservation data. Then we offer powerful solutions throughout the guest journey, such as online check-in, document scan, guest app, upsells, review optimization, and much more. Before I go ahead and demonstrate how automations can improve the experience you offer guests and also help you generate more revenue, I want to take a moment to talk about why we need those solutions.
we established that you're working really hard, and guest communication is a really big part of that. And it's often very time consuming, and so much time and effort goes into every single reservation. 82% of people mention customer service as an issue when reporting a problem. So not only are you spending the time on guest communication, but it turns out that spending time on communication isn't always solving the problem. The communication is still a source of dissatisfaction on the guest side. Airbnb guests spend 2.3 times more money than other tourists. 45% of their spending is in the neighborhood where they're staying. So of course, there's a lot of potential that's not being realized because the property managers have so much on their plate already. You're not taking advantage of revenue opportunities like upselling and offering more services to guests. How much of these spendings could be channeled through the host, right? So there's so much more potential here, especially since we know that vacation rental guests typically differ from traditional accommodational travelers because they are looking for a local touch. Activities is the third largest segment in the travel industry and growing, and it's something that hospitality providers need to take advantage of. So we'll see different examples of how you can upsell with automations in a bit. It's a really big part of the guest experience, and it's a win-win when done well, especially considering the level of research and planning your guests do before their trip. So we see all this time spent on repetitive tasks, communication, and services not being offered. These issues can be optimized with automation throughout the guest journey. Let's pinpoint these opportunities to the guest journey timeline. So we're going to start with the pre-arrival stage, meaning as soon as guests have already booked with you, but before they arrived. Your first impression starts online, and communication is super important at this stage for a couple of reasons. We presented here different reviews from guests, just so, curated reviews to show you what happens when the process isn't perfectly automated. So you can see the main concerns are discommunication, insecurity about check-in, and these are issues that can happen with anyone who doesn't have automation. Here you can see, kind of a tease of our pre-check-in. You can see we have a passport scan and check-in method selection. These options allow guests to deliver all the details you need in advance. Taking ownership of your guests. So your guests might have booked at additional places and will wait to cancel. So this is also something to consider. When you're communicating the guests well at the pre-arrival stage, you're able to engage with them, reduce uncertainties, and reduce the likelihood of them canceling. It's your opportunity to engage with them and take control over the reservation. When using tools like these, you're just increasing the likelihood that the guest will stick with you. And with automation, of course, everything can get to your guests on time without an effort. Confirmation email and other timely messages for sure. The second point is reducing friction and coordinating the check-in. So with automation tools like our online check-in wizard, you're able to coordinate arrival and collect any information you need from guests in advance. This includes signing terms and conditions, getting their real contact details, scanning documents like we saw earlier, and having them choose a check-in method that best suits their arrival time and really eliminate the friction points between you and your guests, kind of what we saw before in the reviews. So you don't need to have someone manually doing this work for every reservation, and it eliminates most of your emails. Brand awareness. So guests are also more likely to remember your brand and feel a connection to your brand when you communicate with them in this way. Wishbox is a white label product, so all your messages, all your widgets, everything will be with your branding. And another important point at this stage is the extra services you can offer. So in the pre-check-in stage, guests will still be planning their trip. They haven't arrived yet. So you have the chance to really make an impact on the guest with the services you offer. Don't forget that you're at the best position to offer guests more services because they booked you for a reason. Your property matches the kind of trip they're looking for. So offering services that mirror the experience you offer makes perfect sense. And by having this pre-arrival experience, you're also improving their stay. Once they arrive at your property, you're already done with all the paperwork. They signed the terms and conditions. You have everything. So they don't need to start with bureaucracy, and they have a much more personal and pleasant arrival experience. So I just want to sum up the pre-arrival stage. Both scanning documents and getting all the option in advance, it can really help you communicate better, collecting all the information you need, and also offering additional services. To be honest, in my opinion, one of the great things about the pre-check-in is that you can actually offer these services as part of the online check-in, asking them if they want transportation to your property, presenting tours and any additional services. They can book it right there, and you can also ask them if they want to pay extra for an early check-in, and depending on your availability, it really integrates well in the check-in process, and it has great conversion rates. And in general, guests interact with it a lot better than regular emails or messages. So moving on to arrival and during stay stage. At this point, your guests have started their trip, and your goal here is to have an easy check-in, a great experience at the property, and all the information available to them. And it's not about offering guests information, it's also about making the information as accessible as possible. So research shows that young travelers rely on mobile bookings during their stay. So we're all used to having information available on our phones. If you can't see it or book it online, it almost as if it doesn't exist. Yeah, if you're not providing information to guests in the way they're used to consuming it, it's almost as if you're not offering it at all. The Wishbox guest app, which you see here, is also available to guests before they arrive and throughout their stay. It's available within a click, so no downloading is required, because we know that guests don't really like downloading one app that's specific for one accommodation. So here you're just offering them access to a guest app, just a click of a button and they're there. And it's where guests can find all the information about their stay, house manual, services you want to offer. They can chat with you, they can contact you, and it contains anything you want it to contain. So during the stay, you need to give access to all critical information, and it also makes it easier for you because it reduces questions, which goes back to saving you time and reducing repetitive tasks, right? So when you have a guidebook with all the information guests need, including a house manual, how to work the heating or the remote, it saves you time as well. Offering them curated information, any tips or recommendations, the kind of local touch we talked about before that they're looking for. It completely uplifts the guest experience, and having a guidebook with all the details, it's so much more convenient to have, a clever app, images, maps, the whole works. Again, offering the information in a way that's, guests are used to consuming it. And third, offering guests more value. So by embedding upsells into the guidebook, you're also offering them more value because, these services are something that they're already looking for. They're searching for them, and you're just making it easy on them to book everything they're already looking for. I'm just going to mention before we go to the checkout that in the Wishbox guidebook, you can embed upsells where guests can view, order, and pay online the services you want to offer. And it can include both in-house and in-destination services. Very easy to work with suppliers. We have auto split payment and many more features to help you boost revenue. And just the option to easily book is equally important. So throughout this entire time, your guests had access to information and you made an impact on their stay. Now let's talk a bit about the checkout and what you should be doing towards the end of the stay. So this won't shock you, but 94% of guests say online reviews have convinced them to avoid a place. So I'm sure we all know how important reviews are. Yeah. I don't remember the last time I ordered something online without looking at the review score. So, preventing that damaging review is so important. And there's also additional issues you might want to address at this point. So at Wishbox, we have, similar to the online check-in wizard, we have the checkout wizard where guests can access, with one click, and it's ideally sent a day before departure. As part of the online checkout, guests we have a review optimization, and I'm going to quickly walk you through it and explain how it works. So it allows you to optimize reviews. Essentially what we do, we ask guests whether or not they enjoyed their stay, and depending on the reply, we either encourage them to post this review online or encourage them to write to you directly rather than posting it online. So this is an example, as you see in front of you. Any score that's 4 stars and over, great. We encourage them to post it online. You can even include a link where you want them to post it. That's great. In case they had some complaints with their stay, what we do, we encourage them to write to you directly rather than posting it online. And that way you're able to take care of the issue. So it's important because we allows them to vent, and often even if their problem wasn't magically solved, it still prevents them from posting it online. And also because we send it right before departure, you still have the opportunity, to address it should you need to. Going back to a few more points that are important during the checkout, taking charge of the checkout process. So you need to make sure guests are aware of the checkout instructions, sending them the information they need. You would also like to get the, checkout time in advance. I know that's really helpful for some. And, when exactly they're planning on leaving. So that's an important point. We also make sure to offer more value at this point, and anything from a return ride, because we do offer return transportations as well during this point, offer luggage storage. And also there's a great feature which I mentioned before in the early check-in, but we also have a smart late checkout, where you can offer guests the option to book a later checkout. And because we integrate with Guesty, like I mentioned, you can offer this automatically only if the rental is available the night after. So it's actually does not require any work from you. It's additional revenue you can make, easy as that. It's exactly one of the repetitive things that you can just automate, and exactly. So again, it checks the availability, and only if the rental is available the night after, you would offer it to guests automatically as part of the checkout. I mentioned it before, we have the same thing going on with the early check-in, which is one of the great upsells on the online check-in wizard. So again, it's a great upsell opportunity right there. And the smart review optimization is what I showed you guys before. Again, asking guests to rate internally, and depending on the reply, we act differently, and it really encourages to leave positive reviews, and really reduces negative reviews posted online.
Okay. Sapphire, that was amazing. Thank you so much. So Wishbox is really going to help you nail that first impression with guests and make sure that they're having the best possible experience for the entire duration of their guest journey. Now, what makes the Wishbox integration with Guesty really great? It's the depth of the integration. These two solutions, when partnered together, offer so much value to your guests, but also operationally. And we'll focus on 3 different examples. The first example, the online check-in wizard responses. So you've sent a gorgeous and branded check-in form to your guests. Well, how does that now feed back into your PMS? With Guesty, you'll get an automatic update on the form's responses directly within the inbox guest by guest. And you can then seamlessly update your reservation details accordingly if needed. And the reason I say if needed is because for the most part, we're going to do that for you. And that's the second pillar. Not only are we updating you on the check-in form's completion and the response, but we're then mapping those responses into the appropriate reservation fields within Guesty. So just an example, if a guest identified that they're checking in at 1 a.m., that will automatically reflect in your reservation details and in reports so that you can best prepare for that super late check-in. Now, the last pillar, okay, the guest chat. Our guests love a guest chat, and Wishbox doesn't just offer this for you, but the integration with Guesty also syncs all of that correspondence into your Guesty inbox, so you have a full record of that entire thread. And you've enabled your guests to have the support available at any time they need it. You still have a lot of oversight. All of your communication is still centralized, even though you're utilizing a third-party integration. Okay, so Wishbox's guest-facing solutions are the perfect complement to Guesty's property and reservation management solutions. All of Wishbox's best tools sync with Guesty. All of your communications on Wishbox are synced directly into the Guesty unified inbox, the best, the most robust unified inbox in the industry, as most of us know, with their visually appealing customer-facing content, which guests love, and our unparalleled communication and reservation management. Okay, so by the way, here is exactly what it looks like when the Wishbox check-in form comes into your Guesty inbox as an internal note. Remember, this is fully automated and in real time, and the depth of the integration that Guesty offers with Wishbox is definitely something that we're really proud of. In addition to the great guest experience that you've nailed using Wishbox in combination with Guesty's back end, which is the best in the industry, you're going to see tons of value. Here you'll see some of the other ways that the Guesty platform is enabling automation to streamline and solve some of the other most pressing, time-consuming, and repetitive aspects of running your business. Task management. Managing all of your on-the-ground cleaning and maintenance teams, monitoring them through a mobile app with the push of a button, tracking the progress of all of these scheduled tasks. Guesty is going to give you the best back-end management tool, okay? And it's entirely mobile-based. Next, yield management. We want to take our automation tools and make them work with your pricing too. Yield management is the ability to create a pricing strategy across your entire portfolio based on seasonality, holidays, etc., and to get the best profits at any given time. Reporting. We love reporting, okay, and it's something that's really time consuming. So with Guesty, we're automating reports for financial data, reservation data, scheduling of cleanings as well via reports, and information for your property owners. Now, check-in and check-out schedules, all of those will be created one time within Guesty, and then you will set the frequency at which you want those reports to be shared. Every time those reports are shared, all of the data is refreshed. So essentially with Guesty, you create a report one time and just automate how often it's shared. The data is refreshed. You're enabling your whole team with real-time and up-to-date data, okay? Internal messaging. Automated messaging. When you're using guest-facing messages, messaging automation through Wishbox, you can still utilize Guesty's message automation for your internal teams and third-party vendors. Automatically send your internal teams the relevant updates and notifications whenever they need them. You can do this by email, by SMS, and shortly via WhatsApp as well. And again, these are only a few examples of the ways automation can be used with a PMS like Guesty to not only run a more efficient and scalable business, but to free up hours in the day that you can be spending, you know, growing and not just doing, managing, overseeing, inputting, etc. Okay. Now, here's what it actually looks like to set up an automated task on the Guesty platform. This comes back to the task management tool that we're really proud of. It's fully in-house and mobile-based with push notifications for your entire team. With an automated task, your staff is able to access their own direct portal to Guesty via the app. They'll find their personal dashboard with a list of tasks that they've completed, tasks that are in progress, pending tasks. They can mark that these tasks have been completed. All of that is real-time updates within the Guesty dashboard, trackable by you and whoever is supervising your operations team. Now, I want to point out also that you're able to toggle on and create custom tasks and automations all throughout our platform, not just what's been mentioned in today's presentation. So this is our yield management tool. It's one of our brand new features. And with this tool, you're going to be able to create rate strategies. And what is a rate strategy? A collection of units that all operate under the same rate rules. And you can have as many different rate strategies as you'd like, and you probably will. And you can see here that you can preset all of your holidays and events, choose the ones that are recurring year after year. How does that impact your minimum nights? How does that impact your base rate? Is it inflated, deflated? You can set up all of your seasons here. Get creative. Some of our clients have 30+ seasons set up in the yield management tool. You can also set up different rates on different days, really popular in this industry. Everyone knows that a Friday is probably a bit more valuable than a Tuesday. And then, oops, oh no, sorry guys. Okay, and last but not least, upcoming availability. So this is the ability for you to start decreasing your rates incrementally as availability approaches in your calendar. Okay, this should help you to increase your occupancy. We all know that a last minute reservation of a 60% value is better than a vacancy. So this is our own internal tool that allows you to preset a rate strategy and just sit back and watch, your occupancy increase and hopefully also your revenue. All right. So with Guesty being a partner in the Guesty, with Wishbox being a partner in the Guesty marketplace, I just want to briefly know what exactly that means. Not only does the Guesty platform enable direct integrations with the key OTAs, but it also features a marketplace in which our customers can directly connect with our vetted and approved third-party tech solutions that cover several different verticals. We have over 50 third-party tech solutions and services offered in our marketplace, with multiple new partners being added every new month. FYI, those are definitely coming from your feedback. So please let us know what third parties you're using, whether they're offering you value and whether they can offer value to our other clients. This feedback is exactly what implements our roadmap and our partnerships. Okay. These third-party vendors have the ability to help you automate your processes, increase revenue, boost guest experience, and reduce operating costs even further. So you can see a couple of the verticals here on this slide. All right, I'm handing it back to Sapphire.
So before we go to key takeaways, we saw some requests to see, the screenshots from the upsells. So we're showing them right here. As you can see, you can offer both in-house and in-destination services. Very easy to work with suppliers. You can auto-split payment and many more features. I know a lot of people might assume that with automation, you might lose the personal touch, but it's really not the case. Your team still are the ones writing these messages and communicating with their guests. You're just doing it once perfectly instead of doing it repeatedly in a partial way. And again, as said before, the arrival experience is so much nicer and feels much more personal. As you can see here, you see different upsell services offered throughout the guest journey.
All right, key takeaways.
Okay, so with automation, hosts can reach up to 90% online check-in completion rate. Also just want to mention for the online check-in, it's a question we get asked a lot. So we do have smart reminders, just reminding guests to complete the online check-in. Obviously, it's only sent if they haven't completed it already. Hosts can reach a $600 increase in annual revenue per unit. So as I showed before, the upsells, they're a really big part, of the guidebook and the whole guest journey process, and it really translates to sales and revenue increase. As I said before, having an interface that allows guests to very easily book these extra services, it's a game changer. 47% of global travelers want technology to improve their travel experience.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so this is actually replies from a survey, and upon many different options, this is what travelers actually selected. They wanted improved travel experience, and we can give it to them.
Oh, yes, special offer. Everyone wants special offer.
Yes, they do. So we decided to have a special offer, and it's exclusive to webinar attendees. If you sign up to Wishbox through a special link we will send post-webinar, you would get a 50% off your first 2 months with Wishbox. So we will be sending you an email with a sign-up link, allowing you to, sign up and enjoy this special offer, and it's limited time only.
You guys are awesome. Thank you, Wishbox. Well, that was fun. Thank you all so much for your time, Sapphire. It was great having you here with us today.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you all so much, and look out for all of our up-and-coming events and webinars. We're consistently finding ways to engage you guys. We want to meet you. We want to talk to you. So, send us emails, come to our events. opt in for our marketing emails, find out when we're doing webinars, and this content is all for you. Again, this recording will be shared, so share it to anyone who will find value. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Thanks a lot.